Hello everyone, welcome to siyasat.com. My name is Danish Majid. Today we have two very enterprising guests. They're a couple. Here is Israr Ali Khan, and with him is his wife Rehmatun Nisa. They've taken some time out of their busy schedules to talk to us about their journey from Hyderabad to Riyadh and what they've accomplished and what they hope to accomplish. So without further ado, I give you Israr and Rehmat. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us. It's a pleasure to be here.
So let me start by asking, you guys are from Hyderabad, right?
Yes, of course.
And where were you born and brought up here?
I was born in Old City. In fact, I was born in Hussaini Alam. And I was brought up in Hussaini Alam itself. My education is from the Old City as well. And from there, my intermediate was done through City College. I think the basic, I'm from Old City, and she is from Mehdipatnam.
I've studied here, my engineering, then I've done my MBA here. It's only after marriage that we moved to Riyadh.
So when did you guys get married, and how did you guys end up meeting?
I think it's almost 8 years now.
Yeah, 8 years.
Yeah,
We have
8
been
years.
together, alhamdulillah. Yeah, and we met each other. It was it was an arranged marriage for us, and alhamdulillah, after that we are together, and we have 2 kids at the moment.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. And like I said in the beginning, you guys are an enterprising couple, and you guys are you've actually started the venture already, the Islamic design house.
Yes, I did.
Before we get to how you guys started that part of your journey, tell me a bit about your qualifications, where you guys went to school.
Alright, I have done masters from University of Aberdeen, UK. It's in digital marketing leadership. My bachelor's in creative multimedia. I did my bachelor's from Malaysia. It's called Lim Kok Win University. It's quite a name, but it's a very good university for creative people. I always, after doing my inter, I was inclined towards doing BCom from the same college, but I couldn't continue it for various family reasons. And I moved back to Riyadh at that moment, and then I was working at that point. Where I decided, okay, no, I have to continue my study. So I went, while I was on job, to Malaysia, and I did my bachelor's from there. And then after that, I continued working, and then I completed my master's in digital marketing leadership.
Because Old City, people have this perception that Old City is somewhat of a place where not a lot of people, move out and accomplish.
Yes.
However, of course, we know that's the farthest thing from the truth. So tell us, what was it like being a child from Old City and then going all the way to Riyadh?
It's quite interesting how people see me when I say that I'm from Old City. They give me a surprise look. That surprises me as well. See, you can be from anywhere. You can reach anywhere. It doesn't have to be stereotype like Old City people cannot reach or become an entrepreneur or something. That kind of it was kind of a challenge for me as well, as an individual, to break that stereotype. I met a lot of people in Malaysia, in UK, and even in Saudi Arabia, where when you say Old City, their perspective completely changes against you. As long as they meet me without they knowing me I'm from Old City, they have a different perspective. The moment they come to know that I'm from Old City, they become a bit, are you really from there? They give me a surprise. Yeah. What's wrong in it? I'm the core of from the city. This is. I believe that you shouldn't stereotype from people from Old City. They can accomplish a lot, and they have a lot of potential.
Definitely, I fully agree with that. But could you tell us more about your journey? Exactly how you went from Old City to, what obstacles did you encounter?
Yep.
Be it in the school or just the job markets and whatnot?
See, definitely it's not an easy journey. I had a difficult childhood, as if you talk to me on a personal end. Uh, but that was a bit, I had to overcome that at one point of time. Uh, my 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 journey began from a very government college, where I have met a lot of friends and stuff like that. That had a I don't know what they're doing at the moment, but uh, from there I decided that, okay, with my uncle's help, with my brother's help, they said, okay, you need to move on. The difficult childhood that I was having, and the challenges that were going through me became, I became a person of an anger. I was very angry at everyone, saying that, okay, why is this happening to me, and why can't I have a regular life and stuff like that. But I think that's part of your life. I moved on from there, and they helped me go to Saudi Arabia. That's where my journey actually began. And I met. It wasn't an easy journey, I would say. While I was in Riyadh, I used to live in a very small room. I only had one fan and a light to to begin with. And yes, that was something that I was thinking, like, okay, is it going to be this way? I have to come out of this darkness. And yes, I did a lot of effort. At times I was doing 3 jobs to support my education. I didn't wanted my difficulty to restrict me from going forward. So yes, I did a day job, I did a night job, I did an in between job, I did a weekends job. So I have taken everything that came up to me to save money for my education. And alhamdulillah, the God was always there to support me. And from there, my brother helped me as well to complete my education. He supported me with some finances. There's always family support that helps you out. My uncle is a mentor to me, and psychologically he did a lot of things. I was developing a behavior of anger, like I mentioned, and that was growing faster and faster, and I was angry. I was disturbed with everyone. But yeah, the thing that I want to say is, at one point of time, I became in the adulthood, I realized that this is not going to work. I have to forgive people to move forward. I cannot take this baggage all along my life. So I had started forgiving people who made my childhood difficult, and I moved on from there. And I started my bachelor's. From there, from after working, saving some money, I started my bachelor's. While I was doing my bachelor's in Malaysia, I also kind of doing a freelance job for KSA company back in here, so I can continue. While in between the semester, there was a point that I had to go back and forth, and I had to discontinue, because obviously, doing bachelor's is not easy on your own money. So I had to take a break to save money to complete my studies. Then, yeah, that was a journey I took to finish my bachelor's, and then I went back. I got hired in a respectable firm, who forwarded me as a consultant to the Al Rajhi Bank, which is the biggest bank in Islamic bank. There they liked my consultation work, and they were really impressed with my knowledge and the efforts, and the value that I was putting into them, to their marketing department. So they hired me from a consultant to their own employee. So yeah, I started working with them from a junior level. Now I work as a digital marketing manager senior over there in the marketing department, which is I feel quite an achievement. Alhamdulillah, I think it is all with the family effort and my own thing. But I do like to mention that all the way I got married in between, and my wife really supported me. She is the pillar behind my behavior. She is the pillar behind my religious knowledge. She is the pillar behind on a lot of verticals, emotional, and making me strong person, and saying that, okay, if you have to grow, you have to forgive. And with this baggage, you don't want your kids to translate your kind of a behavior. So that really struck me, saying that, okay, I don't want to be like I don't want to be a father who is angry all the time. I want my kids to, you know, to learn from a father who is not very angry, and you know, not what I went through. So
Wow.
sorry, yeah. So I think in a just this is what I have. This is a short story for me.
It's
Yeah.
quite the inspirational story for a lot of people, especially those who hail from your native area of
Yeah.
Hyderabad as well. So tell me, how did you get interested in advertising exactly?
Okay, as a family, we do have a lot of. You know, my uncle is a journalist. He's quite a person who gives, you know, a lot of creative ideas to inspire you, and he and his kids, my cousins, basically, we used to connect together very well, and we used to see ads at, I think, TV at now digital age is different. Back 10-15 years, TV was the only means where you get inspiration from. And you know, ads were the most common way to get inspired, and you really get humor into the ads, and then that means you are connected to your audience, and we used to like humor a lot. And I always thought that, okay, I want to be different. I don't want to be like any common guy. I don't want to. This is still I am. I don't like to be like anyone else. I want to break the stereotypes. I want to break the thought where people think that, okay, you know, only Hyderabadis or only old city guys can only do certain kind of things. No, we can be in any field we want, and we can be, you know, we can achieve what we want. That's
That too, not just only medicine and engineering,
yeah,
of course.
That's important.
That's very important. And kind of like, you know, you made a very good point that medical and engineering is the only two things that we always inspire of. And my friends, while I was doing my, you know, after my inter, they always had this thought that we should go as everybody goes. And I joined BCom, but I discontinued it. It was a great subject, to be honest, but I thought that I want to do something different, and creativity was something that was calling me. And I was really into creativity. I'm a traditional artist. I do paint at times, and yeah, and that's where I got into advertising. And at that moment, even advertising was like, you know, TV commercials. They were not like graphic design was not even a field heard of. You know, and user experience was not even a field that was heard of, and you know, creative multimedia was not even a field that was heard of. So I went into that, and I explored. Fashion design was only the thing that people know that design can do. They don't even know what graphic design is and what illustration is.
It's a whole different world.
Yeah, it's
extensive world.
It's in a whole
In fact,
different
I remember
vertical,
you had mentioned that when he wanted to finish his degree in design, he was looking for some universities here in Hyderabad, and none of them offered that course.
That kind of
Now they do. It's they have developed a very nice 4-year course, but back then there was no course mentioning design.
There was nothing was mentioning design. So I wanted to do a full-fledged, you know, I wanted to know the process, how it's done. I wanted to know the fundamentals of what design is. So even when I went there, I had a diploma before I went to Malaysia. Saying I knew the softwares, how they work, but I didn't know the concept behind what to work. You know, so the why was very important, and the what was very important for me. Why do they do what they do? You know, so this crave was there, and that I wanted to come over.
This drive to succeed,
and
that
drive to
not just
break
only
it down.
succeed,
No.
but
To know,
take the path less traveled.
Yes. So I took actually a long route to understand what they do, and I'm really happy when they gave me an exception of joining into a second year or first. Directly I said no, I want to go back to the fundamentals of it. So I actually rejected, and I went back to the fundamentals. I went the whole year to understand how to draw. You know, people think this is the point that I really want to mention. I was a guy who couldn't even hold a pencil. to draw, and I can draw with a flow. If today, the thing is, people think that you have to have a special skill or it's inbuilt. You are creatively gifted, then only you can be creative. This is a completely wrong conception, and this is a completely wrong perspective, saying that okay, if you have to be a writer, you have to know, it has to come within you or something like that. No, there is a process. The more you practice, the more professional and the creative you become. And this is where what I learned from the fundamentals, that anybody can, I had students from other countries, Korea, Japanese, Chinese, who used to draw fluently in the beginning of their subject, in the beginning of the year. But when I went there, I couldn't even draw a single straight line. But when I finished, I was par with them. So that's where my confidence level boosted up, saying that you don't really need to have an inbuilt thing,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there's that saying, "Rang lati hai na patthar gisne ke baad." I think you're somewhat of an example of that. So, especially within your creative pursuits. So I also wanted to ask you, Rahmat, do you have any creative pursuits of sorts or any hobbies? Because I feel like there's a creative side to you which you're also channeling in on Islamic Design House.
Creativity, I like to do baking, so I do a lot of designs on the cakes and cupcakes. I used to have a blog.
Happy Cooking.
It's called Happy Cooking, yeah. So the idea behind it was to save all the traditional recipes from my mom and my grandmothers and everything. These days we are hardly cooking at home. It's always eating out and everything. So the recipes we are losing out on the traditional recipes. So I wanted to have a blog where we have all the recipes and everything, and anyone who wanted to access Hyderabadi recipes could get it. So I was working on the blog for a long time. It's on a pause right now. Then I went into baking. I wanted to start a cupcake business. That is also into process right now. But now we have moved on to IDH, the Islamic Design House.
It's a great transition into my next question. So you're not a banker. You're an advertising professional within a bank.
Yeah.
So how did this idea to all of a sudden dabble into the Islamic Design House come about, and in what capacity exactly are you taking this venture forward?
I think the idea is it has always been very challenging for me personally to find hijab friendly dresses or modest clothing which are of good quality and also fashionable. So it's always difficult to shop around. So it was his idea that we should do some sort of research. So is it just you, or there are other people like you who find it challenging? So his research shows that it's a common problem for those who want to dress modestly, those who want to dress confidently, and he thought this is a nice area to
see. This idea also goes back to my thought of breaking the stereotype. So the stereotype for today Hyderabadi or the hijabi is like they are probably an underconfident or less confident girls or something like that.
The image, basically.
The image, the stereotype that people link with, or they have, as long I have been into some conversations where they were not, it was more of a corporate gathering, and when they were, before they spoke to my wife, they used to think that she's kind of an underconfident, or you shouldn't get comfortable, or there was a parda between them. Of this. When the moment they started speaking, they realized that she's very confident and at par with what other corporates are. It's not just the outer wear that she was wearing. They had this thought in them that okay, if you have that outer wear, you are not very open enough for conversation. That's not the case. So my struggle came there, and I had to break this. So with this IDH design, with this Islamic Design House, we want to bring more confidence in the college-going kids. What they wear really doesn't matter, and you can actually be modest at the same time, and be more confident at the same time. And this is where the fashion comes in, you know. So this is kind of a fast fashion brand, you know. You don't really you know, kind of have to go with the same old style every time. They can have a new style with the same you know, protecting their faith at the same time. So this is the whole idea behind it.
Our tagline does say a new look to modesty.
It's a new look to modesty, and it's a new mantra, we say, fun, faith and fashion. So
I believe you have a outlet already here in Hyderabad.
Yes.
Tell us about the not just the outlet, but how you actually started bringing IDH to Hyderabad, because it is a London-based company. So I'm sure it must have been quite the process of getting in touch with the IDH people. So just tell us about that as well.
Yeah, it was not. It is quite a journey in itself. But thankfully we managed to do it. We initially were in talks with the IDH London guys. They look into our backgrounds, and they look you know, the thought that we want to bring into the Hyderabad and into the culture. They have we did say that this is a common, you know, struggle that everybody is going through. And yes, I would like to mention that the ease of business that when we thought doing in Hyderabad, and when we started doing it, it was quite a surprise that it was quite easy enough. I really want to thank the government for making everything digital now. So that made us look, you know, at 5 years ago I wouldn't have thought, you know, doing business is easy.
Because the kind of paperwork
that we go through, it's quite painstaking process. With all the digitization that happened recently and everything going online, it made us easier and faster for us to open our entrepreneurship, right? The store itself. So that I'm really happy for. But yeah, like we did register quite a long back our IDH, but you know, finding a place was quite a tedious process. Now that everything is getting more and more on the operationally expensive, we you know, and the customers thinking of going online most of the time.
Yeah.
That segment is anyway growing. The online segment is growing. But our thought was like, no, for a girl to choose a product, she needs to feel the product, and that experience cannot happen online. So our, you know, main idea was also to bring in experience with our store. So when they walk into our store, they feel that they are into an online space. Actually, we have a social media section in you know, an engaging wall. It's called we call it Insta wall. So they can, you know, post with the pictures, quite you know, with the products and stuff like that. They can be very engaging with our product itself.
And where is this store located here? Yes.
It's in City Center Mall.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the central location. It's on Banjara Hill City Center Mall. We are on the 3rd level of that store.
So you're simultaneously doing these two ventures at the same time. The first venture, obviously, your job, which you started a long time ago, and the second one, IDH.
Yes.
So who's handling the operations here?
My wife will be handling.
Very nice.
it.
Currently, I'm
she's
he's
working.
here. We just started it last week. Yeah, so he was here for the launch event, and he leaves tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's me who's going to handle it. I'm here for like almost 3 months now. We finished the paperwork last year. Then we started putting up the store since 2 months. It took us almost 2 months to finish the interiors and everything. Just had a launch event last week, and we inshallah hope to grow.
Yeah, one thing I would like to mention about here is, like, you know, why I'm very confident she can handle is her education itself. You know, the education that she has is, she's an MBA herself and quite confident of running a business. And her father even had this thought to educate the kids. They are a joint family altogether. Their brothers and, you know, their elder brothers live with her father, and their kids also. His father has taken the responsibility to make sure that every girl gets education in the right way, and they go to the top, so this is very important for me. I could take the decision because I'm very confident that she can handle she can take it over from here. So my job was to bring the whole
Wow.
whole thing in the shape, and she's the one who will run it. So this is a joint
It's joint effort.
it's a joint effort, and I'm alhamdulillah very happy to have a support like this.
What's the response been like to the store in terms of sales, and what are people saying about it?
I think the response is very good currently. All the customers that are coming in there, they're very happy that they have an option to buy modest clothing.
Yeah.
So it's been like 4 days, but we have customers who are returning already.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the
That's
response
a
is
very
good.
positive thing, and everybody, alhamdulillah, everybody who came in, they didn't had a blink
Mhm.
saying that this was not missing in Hyderabad. This was completely missing. And they are not just glad, but they are happy enough to thank us. They are
Bringing
come
in
from
something like
bringing
that.
in something like this. They are, customers can come in, buy and go, but this takes a person to come and thank you takes really more than just buying.
They are putting in an effort to say that yes, this was
Yes,
required.
this was required, and you guys did an effort, and we really hope they congratulate us,
Mhm.
saying that okay, we congratulate you for having this here, and that's a big compliment for us. I mean, one thing is giving back to the community of what you have done and what you have went through, and the other thing is they appreciating it, what we are doing as well. So I think I really I'm happy that they like it.
Mhm.
It's not just us doing together, but they're also liking it at the same time.
Definitely. Seems like you guys have quite the road ahead of you, and
Yeah,
and
we
it's,
do.
as of now it's very fruitful, and
Yes.
I really wish you the best of luck in your endeavors. Thank you so much everyone for joining us. We just had Isar Ali Khan and his wife Rehmatun Nisa, and we hope to see you the next time.